Okay, guys, this is going to be a somewhat long video because we're going to go over all the different parts. Like we'll go over ask and answer questions, and I'm going to go over the your turn part of what to do. Okay, same with problem and solution. We're going to also we're going to skip biography, but we're going to go over synonyms and antonyms. And that will be it. So let's go over ask and answer questions. I'm not going to zoom in, so hopefully you can read it. If you need to zoom in on your YouTube, you can do that. Make it full screen. Okay, it says readers ask themselves questions about the text before, during, and after their reading. Asking and answering questions helps you focus as well as check your understanding of a text. Find text evidence. As you read Words to Save the World on page 425, you can ask yourself questions about Rachel Carson and the effects she had on the world around her. So I read that Rachel Carson was a writer whose work had major effects on our country. So I asked myself, what did she write about? What did her books have influence? Or why did her books have influence? I will read to find answers. What I want you guys to do is I want you to reread the section, A Call to Action, on page 426. Form questions about possible responses to Rachel's book. Then look for answers. So let's go back to page 426. A Call to Action. Go ahead and pause and read that. So hopefully you pause. Some questions that I asked is, why did she hire assistants? Well, it says here that she hired assistants to help research Huckins' claim. Well, then why did she decide to go alone afterwards? Well, because they were going slow, and she needed to go fast. And that's another question. Why did she need to go fast? Well, she needed to go fast, and work at a faster pace because people or animals on the private wildlife sanctuary were dying. They were being harmed. So she wanted to go faster so that way she could prove that, hey, these chemicals are harming the birds. All right. For your turn, there's going to be ask and answer questions. It's going to be on page 285. I want you to do this isn't ask and answer questions. This is problem and solution. So we'll actually get to that in a second, okay? Yeah, there actually isn't any ask and answer questions, so don't worry too much about that. So let's go to problem and solution. Presenting problems and solutions is one way of organizing information in a biography. The author may describe problems encountered by subject of the text and then explain any solutions that resulted. As you read, try to identify problems and the actions taken to solve them. So in the section A Call to Action on page 426, Rachel receives information about a problem with dying birds. As she attempts a solution, she finds other problems she needs to address. I can record her problem and solution process in my graphic organizer. So here's a couple examples. She gets a letter about bird deaths due to pesticides, and she hires assistants to help research the claim. The research goes too slowly, so she decides to work alone. Okay, your turn. Continue to reread the section A Call to Action on page 426. Record the other problems and solutions in your graphic organizer. So you're going to go on your turn, and it's going to be page 282. You got 4 problems, 4 solutions. So I'm going to go back to the page, and hopefully you can pause right now and look at some problems and solutions. So hopefully you paused. I know that one problem that she had is that it says that the chemical corporations demanded an investigation about the pesticides. Rachel's solution is she testified and provided facts and evidence to help show that, the pesticides are hurting people. What's another problem and solution? Says that the spraying of DDT was affecting the animals in their wildlife sanctuary. So Huckins decided to do research. And I think that was very similar to the one that we already read about. Let me see. Yeah, so she hires assistants. It's kind of different. So I'm actually going to let you write these 2 down, so that way you only have 3 to do for a call to action. So you can write these first 2 and do, you only have 2 more to do, okay? So I gave you 1. Let's see if you can find other problems and solutions with a call to action. I see another one could be that some people didn't or were not aware that this was a problem. So her solution was writing the book Silent Spring that shows a world with possible pesticide abuse. So that was her way of bringing awareness to this problem. All right, so I gave you 2. The book's giving you 2. You can come up with 2 more of your own. And I'll even say you don't have to use just a call to action. you can use other parts of this story as well. So if you want to look here on this page, you can. I would pause now if you want to. And if you want to look at a strong reaction, you can do that as well. All right, that's problem and solution. And then after you fill out this graphic organizer, I want you to read the Father of Earth Day on page 283, 284, and then I want you to answer numbers 1 through 3 on page 285. Okay, answer these 3 questions. All right. We're going to skip biography and we're going to read synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same or almost the same meaning. Antonyms are words that have the opposite or nearly the opposite meaning. The relationship between synonyms or antonyms in the same sentence or paragraph can help you better understand the meaning of each word. In the first sentence of Words to Save the World, the work of Rachel Carson, on page 425, most clamorous must be an antonym of quietest. The word clamorous helps show that her quiet voice provoked a noisy, loud response from others. So it says, find a synonym or antonym in the same sentence or paragraph of each of the following words. So regulations on page 425, reasonable mocked on 427. So on 425, accusations, right? Is that what it was? Let me go back. I always have to go back. I'm sorry, regulations. Regulations, reasonable, and mocked. So regulations, let's see if we can find it. Hopefully you found it before me. I see it right here. As a result, the U.S. government strengthened the rules and regulations regarding the use of chemical pesticides. So rules and regulations. Rules would be a synonym to regulations, meaning regulations is the same as rules. All right, see how I did that? I looked and said, oh, since it's and, it means that they're the same, right? It's a synonym. All right? Mocked was the last one, and then reasonable. All right? So reasonable. 427. Let's see if we can find anything that says reasonable. Oh, it's 427. I'm on the wrong. That's why. Okay. Despite her reasonable approach to the problem, they tried to depict her accusations as irrational. Well, I know that the antonym for reasonable would be irrational. And irrational means when you're doing something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So reasonable is the opposite of that, meaning what she was doing was actually made a whole lot of sense. Her approach was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But they thought that she was being, crazy or not making sense. All right, and then mocked. Let's see. They published articles and reports that mocked her writing style and belittled her ideas. Well, to belittle someone is when you're kind of making fun of them and you're saying, oh, what you're saying isn't that important. So to mock would be a synonym to that. It's very similar to that. So to mock someone is, making fun of what they're saying and saying, oh, it's not that important. All right, so that's how we do synonyms and antonyms. What I want you to do now is I want you to go on page 287, and I want you to look and see the bolded words and what's a synonym or antonym for those words. So let's see number 1. It says Gaylord Nelson developed an affection for nature growing up in the woods of northern Wisconsin. As an adult, he brought his love of the land to his political career. Well, I see that a synonym for affection is to love. So he had an affection for nature or a love of the land. So affection, a definition I'd say, is a love of something or someone. All right, so you could go ahead and do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your own. And that's going to be it for your turn. Okay, you're going to do page 287. You're going to do numbers 1 through 3 on page 285. You're going to do page 282. And I do want you to do the vocabulary on page 280. You know what? No, that's fine. I won't let you do the vocabulary on page 281. Okay, I'm only going to be grading page 282. Questions on page 285, numbers 1 through 3. And page 287, numbers 1 through 6. All right, guys, that's it. Get to it, and good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.